Ranking my top 5 favorite Sam Raimi movies. Sam Raimi's new movie, Send Help, just came out and made me want to go back and look at my top 5 favorite directed films of his. Before we start, obviously this is a 100% subjective list. If you disagree, that's totally fine. That's half the fun. Alright, number 5, probably controversial, but I'm going with Send Help. Number 5 was really tough for me though. It came down to Army of Darkness, Drag Me to Hell, or Send Help. And for right now, I'm going to go with Send Help. Maybe it's recency bias, but I had a really good time with this movie. It's basically misery on a deserted island, which is a setup I absolutely love. What elevates it for me is that it takes itself a bit more seriously than Army of Darkness or Drag Me to Hell, which can lean pretty hard into the slapstick or silliness, over-the-top horror comedy vibe. I like those movies a lot, but Send Help just worked for me a little bit more right now. At number 4, I've got The Evil Dead. This movie is just insanely impressive when you consider what Raimi and Bruce Campbell were able to pull off with such a low budget. The practical effects for what they had are honestly great. Yeah, it feels a little dated now, but back then what Raimi accomplished was a huge deal. The tone here is much more straight up horror, and it generally has some creepy moments. The isolated cabin, the Book of the Dead, the recordings of the Professor, all of it creates this really strong, eerie atmosphere. Coming in at number 3 is Evil Dead 2. If you prefer pure horror, you'll probably like Evil Dead 1 more. This one is basically a remake of Evil Dead, but with a bigger budget and better effects. Raimi was able to take everything that worked and just cranked it up. The tone is way more over the top and comedic though, but it absolutely works for me. Bruce Campbell is hilarious as Ash. This is Sam Raimi's strengths fully on display as a director. Wild camera work, insane horror visuals, and comedy all blended together perfectly. At number 2, I've got Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man is probably my second favorite comic book character, only behind Batman. The first 2 Raimi Spider-Man movies are my favorite Spider-Man films. They're some of my favorite comic book movies, and honestly just some of my favorite movies in general. Spider-Man 2 does such a great job of grounding Peter Parker. He's overwhelmed, struggling, and constantly torn between what he wants and what he feels he's responsible for, which is entirely a relatable thing for everybody in the world. Alfred Molina is incredible as Doc Ock. Rami crafts a villain who starts with genuinely good intentions, slowly loses control, ultimately redeems himself by the end by sacrificing himself. I completely understand why this is a lot of people's favorite Spider-Man movie. But for me, number 1 is Spider-Man from 2002. I think this movie just perfectly captures the spirit and heart of the character. It just feels like such a pure adaptation to me. Rami clearly understands Spider-Man and the comics he comes from. I also love Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. Some people hate the suit. I was the perfect age when this came out, and I've always loved it. He looked menacing, he looks cool, and Dafoe just absolutely nails the role. I can't even imagine anyone else really playing Goblin. The fight scenes in this movie are my favorite in the trilogy. They're brutal, savage, and personal. The final fight between Goblin and Spider-Man is one of my most rewatched scenes ever. And this movie also really helped kick off the modern comic book movie craze. You can go all the way back to Superman, but this is the one that shattered box office records and made these movies feel more mainstream. I remember when this came out, it felt like an event. You felt like you had to go see it, and it was Spider-Man brought to life, and Raimi absolutely nailed it. That's my ranking. Let me know your Sam Raimi movie ranking down in the comments below, and if you like this kind of stuff, like, follow, and subscribe for more.